Good day, y'all. It is a nice, brisk, windy, mostly rainy day in Washington State. I'm near the town of Allen, A-L-L-Y-N, Washington, and I'm at a place called Killdeer Park. Look at all the people. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, park with no people on the Pacific Ocean. I like it. So today, my photo of the week is of a killdeer, and it's a picture of a killdeer that is just getting ready to lay down on its eggs, and its eggs look almost just like the rocks, and it's got some pretty flowers and grasses by it, and it's a very cool shot. And killdeer are very cool birds. They make an unmistakable sound, so when you hear them, you know that killdeers are nearby. And they do a very funny thing that I found out when I was very young. My dad used to take me to work with him in lots of outside places, kind of like my job is a perpetual adventure. I thought that his job was a perpetual adventure, and one day we came on these killdeer that were doing something really weird. They were running along, and then they were acting like their wing was broke, and they were just acting like they were drunk and crazy. And I'm like, Dad, why are they doing that? And he told me that it was because they were trying to lead us away from where their nest was. And the funny thing about killdeers is they don't really have nests. They lay their eggs right on the ground, and usually very close to where cars are and where people walk sometimes. And so they're trying to get you to walk the other way so you don't step on their eggs. Not like most birds where you can't step on their eggs because their nest is way up in the tree, if you know what I mean. So killdeer are funny birds, and this picture is very cool, and you should look at it on my website. And my funny story of the day, let's start with a funny story. So the funny story goes along with the thought of the day. So I'll say the thought of the day first then. The thought of the day is, the more we laugh, the more we flourish and do well as humans. So we need to do things that make us laugh and that are fun, and we need to enjoy life, and we need to just laugh and just break loose sometimes. And I am going to share a fun story that happened to my brother and his friend. My brother recently wrote a book about all his crazy adventures from his life, and I will have to share a copy of it one of these days. But this is a funny story. Back when we lived in St. Anthony, Idaho, we lived in a 2-story house in a cool place, and in the backyard we had a lot of room. My dad loved to garden and grow flowers, and he had a very nice garden where we had lots of tomatoes. And my mom had asked my brother and his friend John to go get some tomatoes for lunch so that they could make them in the sandwiches. So they went out and they noticed that there were some rotten tomatoes too, and so they gathered up the rotten tomatoes too, put them in a box, put them by the side of the house or somewhere so that they could use them. So they went in the house, they started making sandwiches. My mom went and was doing her thing, doing laundry or something, and they just took a couple bites, and then they just quickly went outside and they grabbed the box of rotten tomatoes, jumped up onto the roof, and would throw them at cars as they were coming by, and they would hit the cars. Usually the cars would just slow down and then keep going. But one car they hit, and he slammed on his brakes, stopped, and they hurried back down into the kitchen, started eating their sandwiches again. And the guy knocked on the door, and he was madder than all get out, and he said, I know that it was somebody from this house threw those tomatoes, and they just ruined my car. And I guess my mom just I said, no, couldn't have been these boys. They've been sitting here eating their sandwiches. Couldn't have been them. So he said the moral of the story is that if you're sneaky enough, sometimes your mother will even cover for you. Oh, silly. Oh, and then another fun thing you can do to laugh more is to watch funny movies and funny things, comics. I know my dad a lot of times would just watch very serious things late at night, but lately, the last few years, he's been watching funny things right before he goes to bed, and he always stays up till midnight or a little bit after. And I've noticed lately, when he's staying up late, I'll hear him laughing. And what is he laughing to? I Love Lucy or some other funny show. And I know that I feel better when I go to bed right after I watch something funny. So try to flourish as a human, enjoy wherever you are, and be the best you can be, and enjoy this day.